What's up guys, Wraec is here with a new video, and today we're going to check out the results from the Awakening session. As you guys already know, I got an SS core from the last session, and as for the SSS core that we got before, I want to show you guys how many summons I did, what it really cost me, how much CSG, how much SG, to give you guys a better idea of well, how much it will actually cost you if you might decide to go for it yourself. We'll also compare it to the SSS Gala that we did before, so there will be a little bit of numbers in here, and to not make it too dull, I will want to start this video off by just doing a few more Reverie gift boxes keys. We have 10 keys right here. And those keys I got actually from buying the newbie growth plan. I maxed this today, we're 12,000 points. Fancy thing to note, if you guys haven't seen that yet, this is on like a 3-month timer, 2,000 hours still right here. So yeah, this is still going to take a little bit, and thus it will also take a little bit until we get those rewards right here, which I'm still not sure if this is supposed to be that way or if it's a bug or something. I went for this one right here because it gives you a ton of spiritual essence, and it gives you those Starwish resource chests, which include the ton of stuff. And actually the cool thing about those chests is once you open them, you should get all of those rewards. I think we can quickly check this out. Should be fairly easy to find them there. 140 right here, we get all the rewards in it, so we can just open 140 and we get a decent chunk of resources from that. Those are 1,800 sublimations per chest. We got 140 of that, so that's pretty good. And of course 140 core of origin shards with, like, I think that's every single core up until Memoria, so that's definitely going to help as well. That's more than a full core. So for me that was definitely worth it right now, considering I want to go for Transition Temple. But let's go for the Reverie gift box keys. Let's see if we can get some nice loot. I removed a lot more from it than before, so right now we basically have DT and we have the new Grimoire materials. I'm hoping for those blue stones right here, those that I just checkmarked, and of course we take the orange materials mainly. Also need the blue ones, to be honest, but that is really what we're looking for. And of course we want to see the big drop, so if we see a full blue one drop or a full drop of the Grimoire Origin Essence, that would be quite hype. And then of course, well, yeah, DT mats would also be good. So let's see what we can do right here. First key, let's go. 20k, I think that's a small drop. I mean, those stack up, so it is not too bad. It gets us closer to our goal. 72k middle drop for the Grimoire Essence. Okay, not bad, not bad. Get to the small drop from the DT again. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is a full star, so that is not what we are looking for. Not at all. I don't need star souls right now. Eventually, though, I already said it, there is one book that we are going to get, Primal Grimoire. There is a Grimoire chapter for star souls. So I assume this one is going to need duplicate star souls somehow, which means not too bad right now for us to actually get some extra star souls. I don't hate that. We're going to use this eventually, so even if we don't need it right now, eventually that's going to be a thing. That's the small drop, sadly. I think I need, like, probably another middle drop. I'm not sure. We are fairly close, I think, to a full blue one. Let's see. 72k middle drop again. That's, I think, the big drop. Okay, big drop orange materials. Is it the big drop? That's the big drop orange materials. Okay, that's definitely what I need. Definitely what I need. I like that. Last key. Last key. I want to get a full blue stone. Give me a full blue stone. Come right now. Ooh, okay, we got the DT again. I think we got a decent chunk of the orange DT. Not too bad. 556k. That seems like a lot. The problem with it is, if we go to the hero that we're actually upgrading right now, which I think was Luna. Wasn't it Luna? I think it was. I think we were upgrading Luna. This vanishes almost instantly. Ah, well, it doesn't. I also ran out of Stella. Yeah. Okay, that's a bit bad for a result here. Okay, quickly have to get some Stella. We started off with a triple bomb here. I didn't even want to show it, but I thought, okay, if we start off with the triple right here, I might as well show you a few 10 bombs. Where we go, another 2. What? Okay. That's the way you get the Stella. Watch me now getting 8 times nothing in a row. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there we broke the curse. But yeah, it's always the same with Fate. You get a lot of those at one point, and then suddenly your luck is gone, and then you get nothing anymore. Okay, we need a little bit of Stellar here. We got that, but I just want to show you guys how quickly those 556k can go away. That was the only thing that I really wanted to show you guys with that. And yeah, so 556k. Let's do a quick upgrade here. Quick upgrade will bet us 100, but you can see 317k of that is already gone. And we ran out of blue mats before that. So I was able to get us the blue mats, but I don't think it's going to help. It's going to end up on level 55, almost running out of Stellar again, which is pretty crazy. It doesn't get us super far. I think the Destiny Transition balancing is still not really at the point where you can get it en masse, where you can really easily obtain tons of it. This was a lot when it was released because you were trying to get to your first Nirvana hero, and now obviously when we try to build multiple heroes up to go up in the temple, and that's not quite that easy. So you're quickly running out of it. We are actually pretty close to the next temple level upgrade, which would get me, well, it's exactly Luna that we have to upgrade, 45 more levels. So I just basically need more Stellar and more of the orange mat. But let's get into this Awakening session stuff now. It took a little bit longer than I expected, but I think it was decently entertaining, so I don't hate it. Starting off, we got Awakening Resonance Crystal SS. It was a fairly competitive gala. Very much more so than the first one that we did. We ended up at around 106,960 points. You can see the UI is sadly no longer here, so I can't show you that. I was busy sadly during that time, but it's not really too much of a problem. Because obviously I can just put it up on screen for you. Here we have it. Rank 1, obviously for no 7, he went for 151,000 points, which is quite a lot. We ended up around 106,960. I didn't have to do too much in the end to really win this. Thing was, you can see the other one right here. This was the place 5. Super big distance, and that is still an SS core, so we kind of overspent a little bit on it. The advantage was we got some very nice summons in the end still that we were able to sell, so that was pretty good. We got an A- LFA, fairly decently statted one. I was able to sell that for 9k. I don't have that on the account anymore. Can sadly not show you a screenshot right now. I didn't find one. But in the extra summons that we did, in those like 10k that I did in the evening, I actually was able to get this Espen, which is pretty nice. I still have to sell it. 6,300 in the attack, 6,500 we got right there. For HP. It's a bit of a low roll because we got like 90 more bars there, but it's an A tier, so it's pretty good. We'll get pretty good money, I reckon, because LFA in general is still very much so sought after. A-, as I said, I sold for 9k, so that is pretty good. Then we got the hero, I didn't really expect that, we got another Flora. And got an A tier Flora, and funny enough, during the last gala I also got an A tier Flora. So we have, this is the second time I got an A tier Flora. Very, very weird. Worth not too much, let's be real. If I sell it in the auction out, probably some retiring value. I assume it's not going to be too great. And then the last one that we have is this A- Dominator, and again it's absolute food tier. We already had a video with Dominator. I would show you another one, but like we got a video with S tier Dominator literally that we did in the past with a nice one, and those old heroes sadly can't do damage, so that is a bit of a sadness. But what I thought about, I want to show this to you guys because I don't know how you think about it. I thought it was kind of cool. Dominator 10-star version has like this flaming axe. I thought it's like kind of cool. We really need another hero with like flaming sword or something. I think they need to make use of that again. No idea. It's not the best animation, of course, but I thought it's pretty cool. So this is what we got, and this was honestly a bit unlucky. The tension will be a bit bright now because we're switching into Excel. So not super fancy, but I made up this little chart here. It shows all of the summons that we had. This was essentially, those were the results that we had of all of our summons. 18,045 summons in total. And you don't actually need much more than the summons and in which category you had them to give very, very much so an approximate result of how much SG and CSG you spent for the Gala. So the result was very, very similar to the last Gala, because as I said before, in this Gala and the last Gala, we both had 2A-, 2A, and none of the highest categories, so nothing A plus SS and stuff, so nothing there. This time around we had 18,045 summons in total. We got 106,960 points, and the return CSG from those summons was 915,000. This does include, and I made this because it's a little bit easier, this does include the A- that we sold on the auction house. Granted, this of course means we included it for 8,000 CSG, which is not entirely accurate because we sold it for 9,000 SG, which of course again translated into CSG would have been a whole lot more. So I just considered them at retiring value, which is, I think, a fair estimate, because you don't always summon like an A- LFA, I guess. For this one, it would have been a little bit cheaper. That is something that we can probably keep in mind for this. The 2A tiers here again, and then we kind of have to talk about the summoning cost. The summoning cost is also very easy. It is just 18,045 times 100, because it's 100 CSG per summon. And then for our total cost, we deduct the CSG that is returned, and that brings us to a cost of 889,360 CSG, and that would be the total CSG amount that we spent for summons. And we bought it in the auction house. I bought it with a buyout macros, so I didn't spend much time bidding on stuff, which again can save you a whole lot of money. But I spent I got around ×4 multiplier for the SG cost. So that means for every 1 SG that I spent, I got 4 CSG in returns from the retiring. So this time around it was divided by 4 to get to the SG, which brings us to 222,340 SG, which on the one hand is worth it. That is a decent amount of SG actually for an SS core. Only though if the SS hero is really rare and really good. So that kind of limits already where we can use it. Because again, you have to keep in mind, if we were to go ahead right now and spend this on a hero that does exist in the auction house, that would not be worth it. So if we go ahead and we put it on an SQH, for example, well, the SQH, you can buy it in the auction house, will be worth much less. And even if you have to go into to another player and tell him, hey, you have an SS Scarlet Queen Allura and I want to buy it, and you pay him a little bit extra, you can pay him like 20k extra, 30k extra or something to make him want to sell to you, that will still be cheaper than using an SS core for that. So either it has to be one of the heroes that basically doesn't exist in the auction house. I talked in before about, for example, Basilisk, which I thought was pretty cool. I don't know if we want to do that. I don't think it's necessarily worth it. I think it would kind of waste it. It would make for a few cool videos though, because Basilisk is a really cool hero. I do want to try him, but I'm kind of more playing with the thought of just waiting for him and for somebody to eventually summon him, and then maybe if it costs a little bit more to buy him, then that's okay as well. And other than that, there is basically not too much that would really be useful. I mean, it would be cool to have like an SS Alikita, but again, it will be in the auction house eventually, so that's not really worth it. New heroes, I did buy, and I didn't show that yet, an SS Umbreon. So we have that now. So we don't really need to core to use that on. So again, the same with the SSS core. I don't think there is quite a hero right now where it makes sense to use it on. Eventually on a newer hero, I think yes. The only option where here I would see and where I would say, okay, maybe we can do that would be Basilisk. And also, I was talking in the past about how there would be, well, the option if there is a hero with like great treasures, that it might be worth it to then get an upgrade copy. But we got like a pretty good selection of S tiers right now again. I mean, at some point I lacked a few more. It's got now a little bit better. I guess the only ones that I still don't have are Ignatia, Basilisk, and Maria. And I think all of those have treasures already. I think Ignatia does too. I'm not 100. Yeah, I think she was like the first one, wasn't she? Something like that. But yeah, so I'm not too sure about what to do that on. Let's compare it though to the last Gala. And again, we have to switch into Excel. That is the one that we just did, 18,000 points right here, because I wanted to keep show you guys one more time so that you see a little bit of the results there and that you can see the differences more easily. I guess we do have split screen anyway, so left side, the new one, 18,045 points. Right side, the old one, we did 18,045 summons. Here we did 11,074 summons, 66,000 points in total. This was, of course, an SSS core. And obviously, this one was great. Value-wise, absolutely enormous, because we got an SSS core for probably the lowest points like in recent history. So that was absolutely insane. And we also got same mod of A-, same mod of A tiers, obviously less in the other areas. And we had 593,000 total return CSG, which is also fairly interesting, because we can actually quickly calculate two numbers from this which are very interesting. I did this right down here. So the first number, that is the return CSG per summon, and we can see it's 50.71. And on the older Gala, it was 53.55. And of course, the higher this is, the higher quality your average summon was. And this means we just got more lucky on the other Gala as well, to an extent that we actually had a higher quality of summons. And this brings us down to the cost per summon that we did. And that is the cost per summon cleaned up. So that means the cost per summon after we deducted the total return CSG, and this is of course in CSG. So with the deducted CSG, we spent 49.29 CSG per summon on the last Gala that we did, and on the Gala before it was 46.45 CSG per summon. Of course, the lower that is, the better that is, because that means you spend less CSG for the Gala. One thing that I want to point out though, and this is very, very interesting, because obviously we spent a whole lot more CSG in the last Gala than we did in the Gala that we did for the SSS core. But the difference is that CSG got a whole lot cheaper since then. You can see down here, I actually set divided by 3 for the SG cost, because back then that was about what we did. We got around 3 CSG for 1 SG that we spent, and that means that the 514k CSG right here, they were fairly expensive. So for that back then we paid 171,000 SG in total, and here it's 222,000 SG this time. Considering we did 7,000 summons more this time, which is quite a lot. The cost difference isn't actually that great, because CSG got a lot less expensive, and arguably you can now get even better deals. So if you spend some more time on it, you can save a whole lot more. One number that isn't in here and that I still want to point out is the cost for the copies. So I usually don't include the cost for copies in here, because the thing is, eventually you will just spend, you can just spend some time on the game, you can play the game, copies will amass in your bag, and eventually you will have enough to do a Gala. I still have like 10,000 copies right here. You get copies from playing the game. The thing is though, that for most whales, including me, the gain of copies is not nearly enough. It is very, very slow. It would take multiple years of preparation for you to actually do one singular Gala. And what many people do, basically all whales do, is they go to the auction house in the Starry Gem Mall, and there is this one down here, the 5-star hero shard. You can see for the deducted price that I have, it's 24 CSG for 1 copy, and you can buy 999 every month. That is around 24,000 Starry Gems, contract Starry Gems. Which is, well, for a project like this, not super expensive, but still 10,000 copies, so around 240,000 CSG, which is at the current rate around 60,000 SG. And that is substantial. That is just 10,000 copies. We had 18,000. You can always kind of calculate in some share of copies that you got naturally without like spending in the SG mall on it. And of course, what I also didn't point out is every 20 points that we get, we also get a free chest with Espen copies in there, with like the chest. I can show this to you. Oh, it's always down here. This one. You always get the Transcendence copy selection chest. And we had 106,000 points, so we got a pretty fair share of those. We got around, I think, 5,000 it was. So yeah, around 5,000. So you can kind of calculate in that we spent another 60k SG probably on the copies for this, which brings up our total to around 282,000 SG. We got additional CSG still that I didn't spend on the Gala, but I wouldn't calculate this in, as I'm probably going to spend this on packs and it's going to be used, so it's not really a problem. But yeah, 282,000 SG. Is this worth it? It is the most expensive way to get copies. It can be cheap, obviously, if you have like a huge summon. If you summon like an SSS LFA during that, well, it becomes basically cheap, but I don't get that luck. At least I haven't yet. It's good for content. It's really not good for your wallet. It will hurt there. We have to be honest there. So this is also the reason why it's not really something you want to waste, because, well, that is just like kind of really expensive. So a whole lot of options just drop away. I'm still not done with the thought of going for Basilisk. I'm still not done with the thought, guys. I'm still not done with the thought. But also it would be cool to just like go for the next hero that's going to be released. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be a good hero. Apparently it should be this one, right? It should be the this one. It shows in the next week, but I think the week after will be the Auric Summer event. I think they already include in the event graphic. I think this is the new hero that we're going to get. Abyss hero, as far as I know. Could be cool. I don't know. We had some fancy Abyss heroes in the past too. It's not like all of those were bad. I mean, okay. Some of those were really bad. Gege also didn't really make it, but like Williams was pretty nice. So I guess there's a chance at least. I'm not too sure, guys. I'm not too sure. For now, I'm going to keep it, which is probably the most boring thing that you can do with an SS core. But yeah, till then, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a little bit of information. That is why I started with the Reverie key, so it was a bit of entertainment as well. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have, hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button as well, that helps. And if you haven't already, definitely join SG Hub, our Discord server. It's down in the description. You can buy the cheapest Starry Gems, get yourself some huge discounts. So we're going to launch another giveaway fairly soon, so stay tuned for that. Until then, I wish you a great day. We'll see us in the next one.